back in November of 2017, due to a decade-long Freedom of Information Act request, finally, it was revealed to the public that the CIA studied the impact of space storms on psychic powers. Now, the first part of the agency's 800-page risk report contents shows that a decrease in geomagnetic activity causes an increase in death-related telepathy. Now, back in 2016, then President Barack Obama signed an executive order on geomagnetic storm preparedness. His plan, co-chaired by NOAA, the Department of Homeland Security, and the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy, focused exclusively on guiding the country through damages to the power grid, which could cause an estimated $12 trillion in damages. Now, apparently, the CIA took the issue with a lack of concern over solar flare-induced psychic phenomenon. However, it did dedicate part of its 824-page risk report on it, which you can download for free here. Now, the first part of the document, which is not loading, released by Michael Morrissey, almost 5 years ago now, is entitled Geomagnetic Factors in Subjugative, Telepathic, Precognitive, and Postmortem Experiences. Is just as bizarre as one might expect. Citing multiple other studies, the report contends that a decrease in geomagnetic activity, and we're talking KP0, causes either the occurrence or just the memory of an occurrence, it's unsure which, of increased telepathy, but only about death and other crises. Now, a quick Google search shows that typical theories of this sort are reserved for blogs describing the effects of solar flares on human spirituality, claiming a side effect of headaches, anxiety, and hot flashes. These effects are also studied by the Carlin Institute for Therapy. Research and transpersonal education, which extols the benefits of quantum soul aligning and alternative healing techniques. And you're looking at Mind Body Healing and the Carlini Institute's WordPress blog here. So while the CIA did spend time discussing more scientifically sound theories later in the report, the first section reads more like a Reddit thread than your average government document. Several studies, Pershinger 1985A and 86, Shout and Pershinger 85A and B, have shown that subjective telepathic experiences tend to occur on days when the geomagnetic activity is quieter than the days before or after the experience. The effect is quite strong statistically and is very similar in all three studies. Most of the experiences from the Shout and Pershinger 85 study occurred between the year 1920 and 1967, while those from the Gurney, Myers, and Podmore analysis, or Pershinger 1986A, occurred between the year 1868 and 1884. More than 98% of the cases involved episodes of sudden death, crisis, or illness to a friend or family member. Now, until recently, no document like this has ever existed, and it relates cosmic ray alerts and geomagnetic storms with human health on a scale from 0 to 9, where down at 0 would be cosmic ray alerts, and that's what we're talking about now, low geomagnetic activity. And those cosmic ray risks include acute myocardial infarction, cerebral stroke, terminal arrhythmia, anxiety, stress, and emotional instability. And that might have something to do with it, as well as cognitive diminution, suicide risk, mental disorder flare up, and radiation risk. But maybe it also has to do with psychic ability. And we always joke that when it's KP0, we're all psychic. And that might not be a funny joke. That might be a hidden fact. Could you imagine if you told billions of people they were psychic if they knew how to watch space weather and we all started talking telepathically? Well, let's talk about more threats. Not only is the threat to the cabal that we could all communicate telepathically, but there's a threat to our modern society and the grid. And the executive order in 2016 touches on this. Section 1 policy, space weather events in the form of solar flares, solar energetic particles, and geomagnetic disturbances occur regularly, some with measurable effects on critical infrastructure systems and technologies, such as GPS, satellite operations and communication, aviation, and the power grid. Extreme space weather events, those that could significantly degrade critical infrastructure, could disable large portions of the electrical power grid, resulting in cascading failures that would affect key services such as the water supply, healthcare, and transportation. Space weather has the potential to simultaneously affect and disrupt health and safety across entire continents. Successfully preparing for space weather events is an all-of-nation endeavor that requires partnership across governments, emergency managers, academia, the media, the insurance industry, nonprofits, and the private sector. Yet, why has nothing been done? Why is nothing being done? When it says right here, it is the policy of the United States to prepare for space weather events, to minimize the extent of economic loss and human hardship. The federal government must have, 1, the capability to predict and detect space weather events. We have that. 2, the plans and programs necessary to alert the public and private sectors to enable mitigation actions for impending space weather events. We don't have that. And 3, the protection and mitigation plans, protocols, and standards required to reduce risks to critical infrastructure prior to and during a threat. We don't have that. And 4, the ability to respond to and recover from the effects of space weather. We don't have that. So we are completely screwed. And this document, which is now over 6 years old, is useless because nothing has happened at all to take care of the situation. Well, we started the channel and we now warn the public regularly of these geomagnetic events. But the mainstream's not, and you should question, why is that? When an official White House executive order claimed that that's our top priority. Is it or isn't it? Are they culling the population and they know this is, just an eventuality? And if you don't prepare for it, you'll get maximum losses. That's a boom to knowledge. Some might say we're conspiracy theorists. But I say we're on the cutting edge of science and we're scientific realists. And many of you listening to this podcast agree. That's a boom. Share this with like-minded people. Subscribe if you haven't. Become a Patreon and support the work we do. Be safe. Because, the flare is coming and it will be earth-facing. And when it comes, it will end the empire. Don't be scared. Be prepared. That's a boom. Be safe. We love you.